What if I told you that there's a mushroom that grows on bugs? In fact, it doesn't just grow on bugs, it literally takes over their brain and eats their insides until it eventually fruits through their head. Luckily, humans don't have to worry about this fact because for us, this mushroom is a medicinal mushroom that's used for energy, for endurance, for immunity, and lots of other functional benefits. Of course, I'm talking about Cordyceps mushroom, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about Cordyceps as a medicinal mushroom, talking about how it grows, how it works, what compounds are actually inside of it, and what it might be able to do for you. Cordyceps is actually a genus of mushrooms that contains over 700 different known species. Now, cordyceps in general are parasitic. Some are parasitic to other fungi, while most are actually endoparasitic, which means basically that they grow on bugs. And you may have seen videos or photos of this where mushrooms are kind of growing out of the head and the body of other insects, and although this is super weird, it's actually really cool. The other important medicinal cordyceps is Cordyceps militaris, and I actually have some here, and as you can see, they do look pretty cool. Now these ones are dried, so maybe they don't look too interesting, but when they're fresh, they look super neat. They're kind of wider and bright orange or yellow, and they really do look like Cheetos. Now, Cordyceps militaris is also endoparasitic, which means it grows on bugs, but it doesn't have to grow on bugs, which means it can be cultivated, and that makes it an excellent candidate to be used as a medicinal mushroom, especially since it has a very similar profile as other cordyceps that are revered for their medicinal benefits, and it can be cultivated, so grown commercially without costing $20,000 per kilogram. It is grown on a bed of rice and soy, but that doesn't mean it's mycelium on grain. For example, here is a commercial cordyceps farm, and as you can see, the fruiting bodies are grown, and the fruiting bodies are what are harvested. Now, cordyceps grows slowly in cool conditions with blue light to increase the concentration of beneficial compounds that are found inside the mushroom. If you do have a cordyceps supplement that is made from fruiting bodies, it is almost certainly Cordyceps militaris, and that is actually a good thing. There are a lot of compounds in cordyceps, but the two that are most important are the polysaccharides and the nucleoside analogs. Now, polysaccharides in cordyceps or beta-glucans are found in a relatively high concentration. Now, this is similar to other medicinal mushrooms, but it's why cordyceps is known as such a powerful natural immune booster. The nucleoside analogs are what really make this mushroom special because they are a unique compound in cordyceps. But why is this important? Well, true nucleosides are in DNA and RNA. The analogs in cordyceps have a different structure, but are similar enough that they can actually be used in a lot of the body's natural processes. The most notable nucleoside in cordyceps is something called cordycepin, the highest concentrations of which are found in Cordyceps militaris. Now, you might have heard of cordycepin before. It is the compound that is responsible for a lot of the benefits of cordyceps, and it is unique to this mushroom. The most commonly recognized benefit of cordyceps is increased energy and endurance. In fact, it's sometimes referred to as the athlete's mushroom or the energy mushroom. There was, of course, the famous case of the 1993 women's Olympic running team that smashed a bunch of records, and eventually their coach came out and said that their secret sauce was Cordyceps mushroom. Now, although there is some debate as to whether or not this is actually a true story, there are a lot of studies done which show that Cordyceps mushroom can increase endurance. It may also increase oxygen capacity, or the efficiency in which we're able to transfer oxygen from our lungs to the rest of the cells in our body, which could help reduce muscle fatigue and help with overall energy and endurance. Now, another reason why Cordyceps mushroom might be associated with better athletic performance or energy is because of its potential to increase adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Now, a lot of people know from Bio 101 that ATP is kind of the energy currency of the body and is produced in something called the Krebs cycle. Because this is a complex process, it's no surprise that the mechanism in which ATP is actually increased is still not well understood. But studies suggest it is done by increasing enzyme levels during ATP production. Somewhat related to energy and endurance is the potential benefits that cordyceps might have on lung health. Practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine believe that cordyceps could help clear excess phlegm production and improve lung function. Because of this, this mushroom has traditionally been used to address respiratory issues. Studies on lung inflammation, lung scarring, and lung injury offer some support to this historical application. In a mouse model of acute lung injury, which involves an acute inflammatory response, cordycepin appeared to prevent prevent or block inflammation and reduce oxidative stress. It may seem counterintuitive, but the mushroom, best known for energy and endurance, might also have a calming effect. That's because cordyceps is a known adaptogen, meaning it can help support the body's natural response to stress. Although many other medicinal mushrooms share this property, cordyceps appears to work specifically by affecting nitric oxide production. Because nitric oxide increases in stressful situations, regulating this could definitely have a calming effect or help the body respond to these stresses. Like all other medicinal mushrooms, cordyceps also contains a high concentration of fungal beta-glucans, and because of this, it's useful for supporting the immune system. What's interesting about cordyceps is that it is known as a bidirectional modulator, meaning that it can either support the immune system or maybe suppress the immune system, depending on what the body needs the most. Cordyceps might also be considered a natural antiviral because of the compound cordycepin. As mentioned earlier, cordycepin is a nucleoside analog, and it might be able to interfere with viral replication. This property, along with the power of beta-glucans, make cordyceps a perfect candidate for the ultimate immune defense. There's also some research that shows cordyceps might be able to help relax blood vessels and thus increase blood flow. Poor blood flow is one of the many known reasons for potentially low libido, so it makes sense that cordyceps mushroom might be able to help for this purpose. Further, there's studies that have been done on mice that might show a link to testosterone production, which also supports the thesis of cordyceps mushroom as a libido enhancer. So you might be wondering, how do you actually use cordyceps mushroom? Is it something that you can just fry up and eat, or is it something you can snack on? But without a doubt, the best way to get the benefits of cordyceps is to use a properly prepared mushroom supplement. Probably the best way to do it is to use something that's made from fruiting bodies of Cordyceps militaris. Now, you can find Cordyceps militaris pretty easily in powder or supplement form. Sometimes you can get tinctures, and you can even sometimes find it in functional foods or other functional drinks. As far as when to take Cordyceps mushroom, you can basically take it any time of day, but some people do find it has an acute energizing effect. So some people like to take it in the morning or use it in their pre-workout, but for some other people, it doesn't really make a difference and they can take it at night, where the beneficial effects take place over longer periods of time. As for what level of dose, it really depends on what you're trying to do with cordyceps and what type of cordyceps you're using. In general, for dual extracted cordyceps mushroom fruiting bodies, a dose is typical around 1 to 2 grams. But if you're trying to treat a specific condition, obviously you want to follow the advice of your doctor or natural healthcare provider. Other than that, just usually following the instructions on the label or on the product is the best way to go. Now, cordyceps that has been extracted does have a pretty strong flavor. Some people don't seem to mind, whereas some people find it pretty overwhelming. So if you think it's too strong of a flavor, capsules are likely a better option, but if you don't mind the strong taste, then you could easily go with an extracted powder. Personally, I like to just mix it up in water. The taste is really strong, but it makes me feel like I'm getting the full benefits. Not so bad. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.